really on guard, and I don't want anybody to have to go through what I'm going through. So even though this is a relatively light version of it, it's no fun.
When I talked to Randy earlier today, he told me that he was not feeling well. He was coughing throughout our entire interview, but he says before that he had a headache and he also had a fever. It was those symptoms that prompted him to take a coronavirus test in the first place. Well, he says he doesn't feel sick enough to come to the hospital. He says that if he wasn't vaccinated, he believes this is where he would be.
I was one of those people that kind of felt, 40 foot and bulletproof because I was vaccinated. And then now I'm in this situation.
Quarantined in his basement, Randy Blazak shares how frustrating, upsetting, and confusing it is to get the coronavirus despite being fully vaccinated.
I think it's time to pay attention to the fact that we're not out of the woods, and the fact that we can contract the illness and pass it on to the people in our family and our loved ones.
That's Blazak's biggest concern. His wife was also tested. Thankfully, she's negative. But with a young daughter in the house, he's not taking any chances.
I have to wear a mask inside my own home to protect my family. And if that doesn't sort of show you how far we haven't come, I don't know what would.
While breakthrough cases like his are rare, they are happening. The Centers for Disease Control says less than 1% of vaccinated people test positive for the virus. Those that do typically have a mild case. What Blazak is dealing with, though, isn't easy.
I don't want to do anything. I just want to sleep.
He doesn't know where he contracted the virus, but says once mask mandates were gone, he, like most Oregonians, stopped wearing one. He's hoping his story will be a warning for others.
The mask got to come back out. We got to encourage people to get vaccinated because the ripple effect is just goes on and on and on. It's so frustrating.
Blazak has made an appointment here at Legacy Emmanuel Hospital for another test tomorrow. He hopes that when he talks with a doctor, then they'll be able to walk him through what his next steps are. He tells me his biggest concerns right now are his family and also wondering if there's going to be any lasting impacts from getting the coronavirus now.
All the tables here are outdoors, and they kept many restrictions in place throughout the summer, including spacing out seating. But the owner here tells me customers can expect more changes starting next week.
I do not think it has peaked.
Virus experts tell us they expect the current surge of COVID-19 to get worse before things improve.
I think with our vaccination rates currently stagnant, and the Delta variant being much more aggressive in terms of transmission dynamics, I think this is going to keep going.
This biology professor says he could see decisions falling into the hands of business owners moving forward.
All of these precautions put together are going to be helpful. Masking, physical barriers, limiting the number of individuals in a room.
The owners at Botanist are already taking that step, going beyond the current spacing of tables and outdoor seating.
Starting next week, we're going to be masking up as well and going back to our own set of protocols of, hey, we're going to require you to mask up when you come in. When you sit down, feel free to remove those masks, but if you're going around, if you're talking to your server, please, by all means, mask up.
At the Bar Method in Lake Oswego, owner Beth Hutchison says she'll follow any future guidelines from the state and county level. Hutchison tells us she's prepared to check vaccination cards or require masks if it means keeping doors open.
Even though we don't necessarily want to do it again, we can do it again. If it means that we still get to work out together and be a part of a community and we have to be masked, I think the majority of our clients would prefer that to being shut down again.
The only ones adapting, so are places of worship. Some churches are going back to requiring masks. At Beth Israel Synagogue, they have yet to go mask-free. The rabbi tells us they're continuing to keep their distance and stream services online. But the next big challenge will be the holidays as larger groups gather.
We've got this kind of balance. We want to be together. We want to be able to embrace, we want to have community, and we want to keep everyone safe.
The rabbi says they kept precautions in place due to fears about safety risks for the unvaccinated, such as kids. Moving forward, the congregation is planning several outdoor events in another effort to cut down on potential spread.
The fires currently burning are not very close to Portland, but we have seen some mild haze over downtown. And we also know that resources, firefighters and equipment from the Portland metro area have been going down to assist with these fires. And the longer this fire season goes, the bigger the impact is on the entire state. Instead of gearing up for fire season, this year, fire crews are already months into it. The Northwest Interagency Coordination Center just released these numbers to put the 2021 fire season into perspective. In a tweet, they explained that by this time last year, July 31st, 2020, there were 23 fires and more than 40,000 acres burning. On July 31st, 2021, though, there were 50 fires and more than 20 times the amount of acres burning. As a spokesperson for Central Oregon Interagency Dispatch Center, Jean Nelson Dean sees how hard fire crews are working to put out these large fires. But with limited resources, growing fires, and the coronavirus, keeping these firefighters safe while off duty is also hard work.
We're trying to get people rest when they come off of fires. We have certain standards for that. We are really concerned as we look at this Delta variant coming into COVID and looking back at how we handled COVID last year and the successes that we had, and try to make sure that we are still taking that seriously.
And it's not just Oregon that is seeing a more intense wildfire season this year. In 2020, in Washington, there were 11 large fires burning at this point in time. Compare that to this year, there's 25 large fires burning right now in the state.